Welcome to all our friends and colleagues, and thank you for joining us this evening for the first lecture in the Autumn CAARI Lecture Series for 2023. I'm Lindy Crew, CAARI's Director, and it's my pleasure this evening to introduce our speaker, Professor Ewdoksia Papuci-Władyka, who has joined us here tonight during the middle of a very busy digging season in Nea Paphos. Professor Papuci-Władyka is head of the Department of Classical Archaeology at the Jagiellonian University in Krakow's Institute of Archaeology, as well as visiting professor at the Polish Center of Mediterranean Archaeology of the University of Warsaw. In addition to directing the project we will hear about this evening, since 2021, she has been Vice Director of the Polish Archaeological Institute at Athens and Director of the Research Center in Cyprus of the Polish Center of Mediterranean Archaeology in Paphos. Professor Papuci-Władyka has many years' experience with the archaeology of Nea Paphos. She joined the University of Warsaw team investigating villas in the Maloutena area of the site in 1988, participating each year until 2010. In 2011, she became director of a new project, the Paphos Agora Project of the Jagiellonian University in Krakow, which she led until 2019. Since this time, she has also been director of the joint Warsaw mission in Paphos, with a new project, the MA-P Maloutena and Agora in the layout of Paphos, modeling the cityscape of the Hellenistic and Roman capital of Cyprus, in cooperation with the Warsaw University of Technology. Professor Papuci-Władyka has also participated in excavations in Poland, England, Greece, and Ukraine, and is responsible for the team studying the Hellenistic pottery from the excavations of the Sanctuary of Apollon in Halasana on Kos. She is a prolific presenter and publisher and has written over 160 articles and books, including the first volume of the Paphos Agora Project, published in 2020, and Paphos, Mystery of the City of Aphrodite, Archaeological Heritage versus New Technologies in 2018, as well as publishing several pottery reports. I would now like to invite Professor Papuci-Władyka to present her lecture this evening entitled Where the Streets Have No Names, Results of the Research Project MA-P Maloutena and Agora in the Urban Layout of Paphos, Modeling the Cityscape of the Hellenistic and Roman Capital of Cyprus. Thank you, Ewdoksia.
Thank you very much. It's okay. Good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me, Lindy, for this to give this lecture. And it's really my great pleasure to talk to you and to the audience which is online. Today, I will present the results of our project in Maloutena and Agora area in Paphos. Can you hear me?
New technology.
New technology. So excuse us. So why it's not moving on?
It was working before. Maybe have to use the arrows.
Yeah.
It was working. Oh, is it this?
It's working now? Ah, yeah. To present our research, we also created a new website, Polish Archaeology in Cyprus, which can you visit. For the introduction, I would like to remind you just that Polish research in Paphos started in 1965. It was a research of the Polish Archaeological Mission of the University of Warsaw in Maloutena site, directed first by Professor Michałowski and next by Professor Daszewski and after by Dr. Henryk Mejza. And the second mission was created in 2011. It was the Paphos Agora Project. It was already mentioned by Lindy. And in 2019, two Polish missions have been joined. And we started the new joint expedition of Jagiellonian University and Warsaw University in collaboration with the Warsaw University of Technology and also with the Hamburg University, which is doing for us the geophysical research. Just to remind you the site, this is the site of Maloutena here, with the Villa of Theseus, House of Aion, House of Dionysos, and the Agora with the Fanari Hill and Odeon, so-called Asclepion, and other buildings. In Maloutena, we have uncovered a lot of various buildings, but also the streets of the city. And one of the major achievements of this mission was the publication of Jolanta Młynarczyk of the plan of Nea Paphos, which was an orthogonal street grid, and it was reconstructed in the book published in 1990 by Jolanta Młynarczyk. And I will return to this topic later, showing you our research on the streets. The Villa of Theseus was one of the buildings uncovered by Polish mission from the very beginning of the excavations, and you have here the plan of this villa, and also you see the first phase of the villa, and next it was enlarged, and you have here the reconstructions, two-dimensional reconstructions, and I will show you later the three-dimensional reconstructions made by our mission as the result of our research. These buildings, which are uncovered by Polish mission, include also House of Aion, and which is here, and also another one house, so-called Hellenistic House. Finally, now we came to the result that this was the house in the last phase, house which was built on the turn of the 1st and 2nd century AD, and not in the Hellenistic period as it was supposed before. So we, after many years of research, we also changed a little bit the phases of development of the Villa of Theseus, and you see here these phases in various colors shown in this picture. Because the building of the erection of the Villa of Theseus changed also the layout of the Hellenistic streets. You see here the fragment of this grid street, for example, street number 10, street B, street A, street A, street A prime, etc. And in the later Roman period, some of the streets have been not in use, and some of the streets the Romans erected new streets. For example, this one, so-called late Roman street between the House of Aion and Villa of Theseus, which was started in use in 4th century AD. The Hellenistic House, so-called Hellenistic House, this is a photograph from the excavations in 2006, and we excavated this huge house. It was excavated in many years, and you see here the excavations of the central courtyard, which I will show you later on, the reconstruction of it. I will show you later on during this presentation. The new result of our research concerning this Hellenistic house is the result that the mosaics which have been found before in this area here, in the first stage of research, they have been told that they have been erected in the Roman period after the collapse of the so-called Hellenistic house, and part of rooms of this house have been used for new house, so-called Roman house. But now we came to the result that these rooms with these mosaics, which you know, were incorporated in the Hellenistic house, and they belong to the Hellenistic house, to the last phase of the Hellenistic house. So the Hellenistic House was very big villa, which had more than 2,000 square meters and had two main courtyards. The main one you saw before, and this one is the Western courtyard in atrium style, and you will see later the reconstruction of this villa. We cannot exclude the hypothesis that this villa was the public building, because it's really very, very big and rich decorated with the mosaics, wall paintings, etc. So maybe this was not the private villa, but public villa. The second part of our research was concentrated in the Agora of Paphos, which you see here, which was uncovered by Kyriakos Nicolaou from the Department of Antiquities, and we started here the excavations in 2011. This is the view of the Agora before the starting of our excavations, and this is the progress. You see our trenches, and we had many results which have been announced in the publication of Paphos Paphos Agora Project Volume 1. But I want to just to focus on the main result, which was the, you see here, the students working on the Agora, and also the reconstruction of the Agora area. According to our research, the Agora was founded in the 2nd century BCE, not in the 2nd century AD, as was established by Kyriakos Nicolaou before. And Kyriakos Nicolaou has written that the Agora had the dimensions of about 1 hectare, the area of 1 hectare. We came to the research, to the result of our research, that the dimensions have been much more big, and you have here, it was about 150 to 160. So this is the Agora with the area of the Agora, 2.5 hectares, together with porticos, which have surrounded the Agora. So it was one of the biggest agoras in the Eastern Mediterranean. So it is very, very important result. In Roman times, the complex of Aion was built on the western part of the Agora, and the so-called Asclepieion here. We have no good information from the publications of Kyriakos Nicolaou about this building, so we are not sure if this was really the Asclepieion, the building connected with cult of god Asclepios, and I hope that the Department of Antiquities will allow us in the future to make some soundings around the Aion and this building to see what was the chronology and what was the purpose, the function of this building. The Aion served also as Bouleuterion, which is quite sure. We can find the analogy also in the Agora of Thessaloniki, where we have the same arrangement. We have big Agora, and in the one part of the Agora we have Bouleuterion, like here in Paphos. Except of research on Agora, during the Paphos Agora project, we also made some non-invasive research on the archaeological part. So we went beyond the Agora, and we concentrated not only on the economic infrastructure of the Agora and other parts of the city, but also we wanted to make the research on the whole archaeological part. Here you see the terrain model made by our mission, and also you see all these parts show the geophysical research, the area of the geophysical research in the archaeological park. We made it with the with use of magnetometer. So, according to this research and preliminary results, on the left, you see the results of the magnetometer prospections, the first results. In various colors, you see the structures which can belong to the different periods of the development of the city. And pay attention, please, to this area, which is north of the Agora here. And you see here these yellow lines are the streets. I will return to this topic later. And also here, you see these lines to the west of the Maloutena. Here is the Villa of Theseus, House of Orpheus, House of Aion. And here we will see also these streets here, which have been analyzed by us later in our research. And on the, excuse me, on your right, you see the results of the GPR prospection on the Agora. So we used magnetometer for the archaeological park. Altogether, in the archaeological park, we could make prospections on about 18 hectares, not in the whole archaeological park, because I would like to remind you that the archaeological park is also the protected area by the project Natura 2000. So we cannot cut the bushes in the archaeological park to make prospections. We only can make this prospection in some areas. So but still it was really the huge area prospected by the geophysical research. And here in the right, you see the results of the GPR in the Agora. The georadar in the Agora showed us fantastic results. For example, we can see here the northeastern corner, of the Agora, which cannot be excavated because here is the modern way, modern streets, so we cannot excavate here. But we see this corner in the image from the GPR. Also, I would like to pay your attention to this line, which is probably one of the streets. And this street is not indicated in the layout of the streets of Jolanta Młynarczyk. This is something totally new, and probably maybe it was some street which was in use before the creation of the street grid or in other periods we don't know yet, because the research, the interpretation of these results are still in process. So we cannot say all the results now. As a result of our research by Paphos Agora Project, for example, I can say you one of the examples. This is the Agora, and the terrain are the area north to the Agora, and you see the streets of Jolanta Młynarczyk marked here by red lines and yellows. In yellow, you see the interpretation of our research of the magnetometer. So, in some points, these streets are in the same way, and in some points, they are not fitting one to each other. So, this was the starting point for our research on streets layouts. Finishing our book in Paphos Agora Project, we had big discussions about the streets and the layout of the city, and we wrote an appendix, some remarks on urban layout of Nea Paphos in this book. And this was the starting point to create the new project, who is concentrating on the layout of the city and on the layout of the streets, and also together with other research, we would like to make the modeling of the city scape of the Hellenistic and Roman Cyprus during various phases of the development of the city. So this is the research which is ongoing now, and which is the main point of my presentation today. We are deeply indebted to the Department of Antiquities of Cyprus, which is supporting us and which is giving us the license for this research. The financing is coming from the National Science Center of Poland, and we get the next grant, so-called Opus grant, which is realized in agreement of partners. So this is interdisciplinary and international project with many institutions involved and also many researchers. We collaborate, as I told you before, with the University of Hamburg, and the Hamburg team is directed by Professor Martina Seifert, and one of the members is Dr. Nicola Babucis. We also have the collaboration with the Warsaw University, another one university in Poland. This is the University of Science and Technology, Politechnio. So every institution is conducting one part of the research, and we all together, these elements have been joined and give us the results, the final results. I would like to show you that we have the big team. You see here all the investigators, the collaborating persons, and other participants. And I would like to underline also that we have a lot of students, undergraduate students, postgraduate students, doctoral students, and also we have volunteers, and two of them are also, one of them is also in this lecture today. What is the workflow in frames of this new project? So this project is multitask, and we have to lay on various parts of this research. One is the reconstruction of the street layout and buildings functioning in ancient Nea Paphos in different historical periods, with particular emphasis on Maloutena and Agora, because these are the areas which have been excavated by our mission. So we concentrate on these buildings, which I showed you before, and we reconstruct the other buildings, for example, House of Aion, House of Theseus, etc., in general only layout, not in details. We lay on here we lay on the published material, so the most detailed reconstruction will be concentrated on Maloutena and Agora buildings, and the rest is made in general. To make all this analysis, we have to analyze the results of geophysical and remote sensing prospects, not only made by us, but also made before, during the excavations of other missions I showed you before. The next element is the analysis of the results of existing excavation research and execution of new excavations in trial trenches. This is one of the big tasks, which I will show now some of the results of this task. To check the layout of the streets, we had to make some trial trenches in various points, crucial points for this street layout. For example, in the crossings of the streets, and also in other points, which I will show you in the moment. So we analyzed the old documentation from excavations, and we made also new trial trenches in some points crucial for this reconstruction. And the next step is the reconstruction of the spatial layout of the city and buildings in the form of procedurally generated 3D models. And some of them I will show you next, and I will explain you these techniques not in detail, of course. And the last element is the performation of the spatial analysis in order to establish the relationship between the development layout of and the functioning of the city in terms of visibility, movement, population, what was the movement in the city, how the population, the inhabitants moved in the city, etc. We start with the results of the trial trenches, and the research questions behind this was some of them were the size of the city insula, the city street layout, the width of the streets. So to establish these elements, we had to make all these trial trenches I told you before and analyze the results of the previous excavations. For example, in the Villa of Theseus, you see here the Villa of Theseus, and the streets in the layout of the streets of Jolanta Młynarczyk. And for example, this street, number 10, was put here by Jolanta just to the west of the Villa of Theseus. It was in 1980s, okay? And after some years of excavations, Professor Daszewski found that this street should be put here, not in this point, but farther to the west. So this is the street 10, and we wanted to check this and to confirm is really, if really this street was coming here. To the west of this street, here exactly, is the House of Orpheus, excavated by Professor Michailidis, who is present in this room. So, according to Daszewski, because the street was here, the width of the insula was 105 meters, and before, the width of the insula was estimated by Jolanta to 75 to 78 meters. So this was a crucial point for us to establish the width of the street, 75 or 105 meters. So starting in the starting point of our research, we put some trial trenches in these crucial points. You see here the excavations. Of course, we had to confront the pandemic situation because we started the project in 2020. So it was impossible to come to Cyprus with students. So we came in small group. Still, it was really very, very difficult, but we did it. And we started the project in 2020. And we selected these 2 points. This is the street B, the street C, and the street 10, which was going not here, according to Jolanta, but here. And this is the House of Orpheus. So this is the street which is dividing the Villa of Theseus from the House of Orpheus. So we put 2 trenches here in this crossing of the streets, but unfortunately, we didn't get good results here because of the later buildings and parts of the buildings which we found in these 2 trenches. So this is not so easy because you expect some results, but you never know what you will find during the excavations. So we had to choose other points for trial trenches around the Maloutena. When you confront the results of the geophysical research, here you see the detail, the part, this is Maloutena, House, Villa of Theseus, etc. This is this point. This is House of Dionysos. And you see the interpretation of the geophysical prospection here. And these lines are the lines of the streets. This is Maloutena, Villa of Theseus, and to the west of this. To check if the streets really confirm fit with the Jolanta Młynarczyk plan, we put some trenches. One of these trenches is here, the so-called trial trench 6, and another one was in the line of the street A. Here were these two trenches I showed you before, and you see here another one trench on the line of the street A, and this trench gives us very positive results, as well as this trench on the crossings of the street 11, which is to the west of the street 10 I showed you before. This is the street 10, so this is the street 11 in the distance 105 meters to the west from the street 10. And in these trenches, we had good results. In Maloutena trial trench 3, we found the street A, and not exactly the street, but the channel, which is going, which was created, was carved in the bedrock. So you see the confirmation of the street A, and this street was confirmed here before by the research of Jolanta Młynarczyk, but our results gave new information. For example, before it was supposed that the channels cut in the bedrock should be dated to the beginnings of the city, end of the 4th and beginning of the 3rd century BCE. But in our research here in this trench, we, after the analysis of pottery, mainly of pottery, we came to the result that this channel was created, channel connected with the street, okay? Above the channel was the level of the street. This channel was created probably by the end of 3rd and beginning of 2nd century BC. It seems that probably some of the streets have been not erected in the starting point of after the founding of the city. It means not late 4th century, early 3rd, but 1 century later. And we have also confirmation for this result in other research. So probably the layout of the streets was created later, not in the starting point of the Nea Paphos city. In the trench, in the second trench I showed you before, we found the also partly the results gave. This is a street going east-west, and the street 11 going north-south, and the channel. So we had positive results here. And now we move to the area of the Agora, and around the Agora also we made some trial trenches to check all these points I showed you before. Okay, we see here that in red the streets according to Jolanta Młynarczyk, and the names. These are the names given by Jolanta. So the streets which are going east-west have the letters, and these streets have the numbers. And you see clearly here that some of the streets are not fitting with these are in yellow, the results of our research, and this is the result in red, the results of research of Jolanta Młynarczyk and other, of course, other researchers. And here is the Agora, okay? So we are on the north and east from the Agora. So to check the situation here, we also made some trial trenches around the Agora, altogether 16 of them. And in some, we have positive results, and we have the confirmation of the streets. So I would like to show you only three of them, three examples of these streets, of these, of the results of these trial trenches. So you see, this is the Agora, and you see the trial trenches marked here around the Agora. One of the most important was this trench, which gave us the positive results. This is the final stage of the excavation, and you see here, this is a street P going west-east, and you see here the pipelines in two phases, one earlier and one later, and you see also the pavement of the street, which is very, very interesting, because this is the same street which was found during the Australian excavations south to the theater. This is a theater, and this is the street, this street P, which is running in front of the Nymphaeum. This is the Nymphaeum excavated by Australian mission, and you have here the line of the street P, and here is the trench in which we found the same street. So we confirmed that this street P was going from the on the line from the theater to the Agora, and also you see other streets here, which some of them have also been confirmed. And another one example around the Agora, the street M and the crossing of the streets M and 2A. And also we found here the pavement of the street, and these are the columns of the east portico of the Agora. This trench is situated to the east of the Agora. This is exactly this trench. And you see here, this is the east portico, and this trench show us the columns which lay down because of the earthquake, which destroyed the east portico. So one of the results of our research is also the result that the columns of the east portico have been out of the Agora. So in this line, not turned to the Agora, but from outside of the Agora. And some of them are laying down in this street M. Below the street, we found the channel. So it's all confirmed, and we have very good results here. So summing up this part of the research, you see here the layout of the city in the archaeological park, and farther to the east with the theater. In black, excuse me, in black, you see the streets confirmed before, mainly in the research of Jolanta. This is the street 11 I showed you, and other streets confirmed in our research and research of Australian mission and other research in this area. So we have positive results in many points, and we can say that we confirmed many of the streets, and the width of the insula in 105 meters. And also this is one of the streets which was not existing, this one I showed you before, not existing in the plan of Jolanta. We will have to analyze the results concerning this street and publish the results, the final results. The second part of the research is concentrated on the made by Warsaw University of Technology team. All teams are working under my direction. So the tasks of the Warsaw University of Technology comprise remote sensing, development of an inventory of structures of Agora, static models of architecture, procedural modeling, and space analysis. And other task is the research on archival data, for example, old photographs on satellite, So we compare the old photographs from satellite of Paphos, streets, etc., and compare with the new research made by us and other, and Jolanta, etc. And also we are testing the new web database, which is called ARHES. This is a base which was created by the Getty Institute, and it's free for use. So we choose this base to put on all our data on this system. So we develop now and we check, we test this new database, which is one of the also very important tasks, because you know that we have a lot of data, okay? Lot gigabytes, terabytes, we can say. So it's very, very also important and to manage all this data. So all these elements are compiled together to build these three-dimensional reconstructions of the city. So the remote sensing comprises not only the satellite photographs, etc., but also the photographs made by drone, which is unmanned aerial vehicle. This is the official name of this device. The scientists from Warsaw University of Technology use also the historic building information modeling to make all these reconstructions. This is a prototype method implemented from 2015, which allows the creation of 3D models that are able to represent not only the surface of the building, but also what is behind the object surface, its methods of construction and material makeup. So using these programs, because these are programs, we make the reconstruction of the buildings in the Agora, the buildings in the Maloutena site, and other buildings. So here you see one of the examples of this building information modeling. This is the east portico of the Agora, and starting from the cloud points and using this BIM model, we can recreate the construction of this portico of the Agora. So you see here the results, the columns which are built up. Of course, we use also all the results of our research, which have been published partly in this book I told you before. For example, you see here the east portico of the Agora. In various colors, you see the various phases of the development of this portico, from the early Hellenistic, late Hellenistic, and 3 phases of early Roman times. So we will recreate this portico and generally the Agora in all these phases separately in these 3D models. And you see here the first results of this recreation of the eastern portico of the Agora, using this method BIM. So this is the one part. Other area of this research is the using of so-called procedural modeling, because in Paphos we have no, as far as Hellenistic period is concerned, we have no buildings preserved from the Hellenistic time. Okay, we have only parts of the buildings which are under the Roman structures. So to recreate the 3D model of Nea Paphos in Hellenistic period, we use the analogies from other cities which are close in historical periods. For example, We took Olintos, Priene in Asia Minor, Ptolemais in Libya, and comparing these plans, plans of these cities, which also have been founded in the Hippodamian plans, we made the 3D models of buildings in Nea Paphos. Here you see Olintos, which is reconstructed, the town in Greece, dated to the 4th century. And you see the reconstruction of the houses of Olintos. And these are the rules which have been used for reconstructing these dwellings in Olintos. And after this, the recreation of these rules, we also created the rules for the reconstruction of the dwellings in Paphos. So after using these rules, we came to the reconstruction of Olintos. The basic publication was the publication of these German researchers, and based on this, we made this procedural modeling of these houses in Olintos, and we also, I don't know if it will work. Wow, this is the reconstruction of the Olintos, part of the city and the Agora, and the same we will do for Paphos at the end of our research. I cannot show you now this for Paphos, but in the next lecture I will show you the final results for Paphos. So this is the Olintos, and these are the rules for Nea Paphos. And after implementing this procedural modeling, we have been able to recreate the first reconstruction of Nea Paphos in Hellenistic period. The other element of this research is the so-called space analysis, which includes the space syntax, network analysis, and analysis of 3D models. And here you see this for Priene and Olintos. For example, when you make this spatial analysis, you this is a set of techniques for analyzing spatial layout and human activity patterns in buildings and urban areas. It's also a set of theories linking space and society. Space syntax addresses where people are, how they move, how they adapt, how they develop, and how they talk in the city. And this helps to reconstruct the main areas of activity of habitants. You see here the analysis, the result of choice analysis. For example, which streets have been more visited by the people, okay? In the red color, you see the main streets used by the people in Paphos. And here you see also the integrations, the so-called integration pattern of the city. In red, we can see the main areas, and also after this analysis, we confirmed that the main street was going from the harbor to the Agora, which is here. Here is a theater. After implementing all of this analysis, we came to the first results of the view of the city in the Hellenistic period. For example, here you see part of the city reconstructed with the Agora here. The main buildings which have been probably in this big street going from the harbor to the Agora. And this is the Fanari Hill. And here was built the temple of Aphrodite, which is reconstructed here, and other buildings. Here is the theater. And another one reconstruction is here. And the possible reconstruction for example, for this temple of Aphrodite, we don't know this if this was a Paphia Aphrodite or other Aphrodite, but there are two hypotheses. One saying that it was oriented east-west, and second one north-south. So we made two reconstructions of this temple. One is in this orientation, and the second one is in another one orientation. And here in this picture, you see the view of the city from the west, coming from the west, where probably was the second harbor of the city. Is this possible that here was the second harbor of the city? This is the main harbor, of course. So this is the second harbor is the subject of the research by our team, but also by Claire Ballandier, and some articles have been already published on this subject. I cannot go in details because we have not so much time. And this is part of the reconstruction of the central part of the city in Hellenistic period. The Agora, according to our research, was surrounded by porticos, and east portico was double, and south portico was triple in the width. So we reconstructed this here, and the temple of the Aphrodite on the Fanari hill, and the buildings, public buildings going in the street going to the harbor, and buildings in other areas of the city. And the general picture of the Hellenistic site, of the Hellenistic period of the city. You can see here the Fabrica Hill Theater, the sanctuary here of Apollo Hilates, excavated by Italian mission, the Agora, the temple of Aphrodite Paphia, buildings, and probably in the harbor. We have not a lot of data about the harbor, because now, as you know very well, the parking place is built here. So only the research made years ago by Hochfelder and his team, we can say something about the harbor. And here on the Fabrica Hill, which is explored by from the south part by Australian mission, the theater here, and in the Fabrica Hill, there are ongoing excavations directed by Claire Ballandier, and also Jolanta Munacci participated in this project with her own project. And Jolanta was concentrated her research on this part, on the temple of the probably Aphrodite on the Fabrica. So we put here the reconstruction of this temple, and I will show you this reconstruction in the moment. Before, I would like also to show you the reconstruction of the Hellenistic house, which you saw before, and here you see the Hellenistic house in the last phase, end of first and beginning of the second century AD, and the big main courtyard and the western courtyard in atrium style. And the reconstructions of the main courtyard. It was built in in various orders, Ionic, Doric, and so-called blocked out, and also Corinthian. So you see the reconstruction of the part of this courtyard of a Hellenistic house, which is very interesting because probably here was the gallery up, because these columns are not so high as the columns from the western part of the Corinthian style. And the western part with atrium style courtyard is reconstructed like this. You see here in the reconstruction of this atrium style according to Vitruvius rules. And you have here this block out columns called before Nabatean. And last reconstructions, the Villa of Theseus. First phase of the Villa of Theseus, it was only the southern wing, and the second part, the second phase of the Villa of Theseus enlarged, very big, biggest one, the biggest Roman building, public building uncovered in Cyprus until now. And you see the reconstruction of the last phase of the Villa of Theseus here, and probably this tower, probably Horologium Publicum, as it was put by Mavroiannis Theodoros, and Agora in the Roman times. After our research, we came to the result, which was proposed by Dr. Anna Kubicka-Sowińska, which is the architect of our mission, together with Aleksandra Brzozowska-Jawornicka, that the so-called Asclepieion was the basilica. We have analyzed this, and it is not still published, but I show you the first reconstruction. So this is the Agora in Roman times, the porticos, this basilica hall, and here the Odeon, which was built in the Roman period. And we move now in the Fabrica Hill, the reconstruction of the temple, and Jolanta Młynarczyk uncovered here the dining place, so-called Cibadium. So you see the reconstruction of the people sitting here in the Cibadium during the dining. Yes, I'm finishing. So these are the milestones of our research. Jolanta Młynarczyk, our research in Paphos Agora, and now the 3D reconstruction of the city of Nea Paphos. And I would like to invite you to the celebration. In 2 years, we will celebrate 60 years of Polish excavations, and we will organize events here in Cyprus and also in Poland, I hope. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ewdoksia. That's amazing work that you and your team are doing, and we really look forward to it being finished. Okay, so we're going to stop the recording now, and we